Hey, welcome to the HODL review here exclusively on the chain. This is Jeff. Join me on today's video as we talk about the Ripplenet SOC 2 certification. That's right, SOC 2, not SOC as in SOCK, but SOC 2 as in SOC. What is SOC 2? Why is it relevant? What does it mean for Ripplenet? Why did they get this certification? Is it relevant for the advancement of their technology in the banking space? Who's paying attention to that one? I don't know. Let's go check it out right now.
And now, the HODL review with Jeff on the chain.
Welcome back. All right, so that was such a quick, nice, easy transition. We're going to get into the SOC 2. What does it mean? How does it work? All of those good things. So first and foremost, let us take just a brief little glimpse at the Ripplenet kind of post on their website. Then we're going to segue over into another site that actually explains what SOC 2 is. Back over into Twitter, where we have the VP of product from Ripple kind of explains from his perspective why issuing and getting this certificate is so important right now, right here with Ripple. And part of that certification is due to the fact that they have something called Ripplenet Cloud, and Ripplenet Cloud being very, very impactful on how they're going to develop and move forward with the transition of clients that are coming over to Ripplenet, moving out of the legacy software-based solution over into the cloud. All right, so let's go. All right, so how are we going to look at this? First and foremost, let's take a look at Ripplenet. Now SOC certified. So Amir Sarhangi is the one who wrote this on Ripple Insights, and he gets into the explanation. So back May 2020, McKinsey identified that both consumer and enterprise digital adoption had matured 5 years in a matter of 8 weeks. This has to do with Ripplenet, that the progress has been so significant. Is that just Ripplenet? I don't know. Let's see. For financial institutions, digital technologies, including cloud-based models, offer the flexibility and scalability required to meet the demands of a more digital, advanced society. That's interesting. So we have this accelerated shift in digital in 2020, but at that point in time, Ripplenet Cloud enabled dozens of financial institutions to modernize their core payment infrastructure from what I was saying earlier, from the legacy, on-premise, software and hardware driven over to the cloud. So that is actually very, very impactful. Now they launched June of 2020 with 40 banks and payment service providers adopting and migrating over to Ripple's cloud payment network solution. Now, as part of this, a very important factor is the SOC 2 certification. So let's get a little bit of understanding what SOC 2 is. SOC 2 compliance, live stream. Ran through this already one time. For some reason, the audio didn't work, so I'm running through this again. I want to get this video down perfectly. But SOC 2 compliance. So if we look at it from an information security perspective, we know that information and security are very vital to rolling out any solution, whether it's software, hardware based, or when you go into the cloud. Now, a SaaS, which is right here, SaaS, which is software as a service, which impacts a lot the cloud computing providers, definitely need to focus on security. Definitely need to understand how they maintain the security for the operation, because much of the operation goes to third-party vendors. So Ripplenet is a third-party solution, Ripple being a third-party vendor for the banks that are transacting and utilizing the Ripplenet solution. Now, Ripplenet, as we know, is a cross-border payment remittance solution that is taken on Swift, which is just a messaging protocol, a messaging solution. But Ripplenet has so much more to it. It has the liquidity element of it, which is the ODL. It has the messaging, and it has the overall, time is on its side, so to speak, meaning that it has settlement transactions in like 3 seconds. So now, as you're migrating over to the cloud, the implementation of the rollout of Ripplenet can be that much faster, but they need to make sure that they're adhering to SOC 2. Now, SOC 2 is an auditing procedure, according to what they're saying here, that ensures that the service providers securely manage your data to protect the interests of your organization and the privacy of your clients. Now, obviously, Ripplenet being used by banks, the banks want to make sure that their data is protected. They also want to make sure that the privacy and the data of their clients are protected, meaning the banking customers, the bigger financial institutions, or the bigger businesses, or whatever it might be that are moving large sums of money across the Ripplenet software, across the Ripplenet platform. So SOC 2 is actually developed by the American Institute of CPAs, which is AICPA, according to this, AICPA. And it defines a criteria for managing customer data based on 5 service principles. Now, these are trust service principles. They look at the standard operating procedure of the organization, and they fit their standard operating procedure within these 5 principles: security, availability, processing integrity, which is the data. How is there integrity to the data that's being transacted? Confidentiality and privacy. Are they keeping all of the information and data confidential and private from those nefarious individuals out there that are trying to hack into systems? Now, there are 2 different types of SOC. One is SOC 1 and the other is SOC 2. SOC 2 goes over the operational effectiveness of these systems. Now, they are then qualified and certified under SOC 2, which is the operational effectiveness of the systems that they're presenting. Now, the SOC 2 certification, I should say, so the other type, so type 1, describes a vendor's system and whether their design is suitable to meet relevant trust principles. I think that that's also very, very relevant, because how they've constructed it, does it actually meet within the 5 criteria that we went over? So now let's look at the certification. It's issued by an outside auditor organization, which is important to come in and make sure that the platform is meeting and following the 5 primary guidelines that we talked about: security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. So let's go just kind of brief on each one of them. Security. Think about, obviously, security, which is unauthorized access. Oh, wait, they say that right here. Unauthorized access. So you want to protect the system and the resources against hacking. Removal of data, misuse of software, theft of data, improper, alteration or disclosure of information. Obviously, keeping the data secure from prying eyes. Availability. This refers to how accessible is the system. So if it's not accessible, then they're going to fail on that key. And also being able to monitor the network for performance and availability. Now, if this platform isn't performing, it's not available, the customers aren't going to use it. However, they still, as part of the criteria of getting the certification, that's number 2 criteria. Now, number 3 criteria is processing integrity. So now, do you want to make sure that all of the data is transferred, goes through? So what does it say here? So yes, delivers the right data at the right price and at the right time. I think that's important. Data processing must be complete, has to be valid, accurate, timely, and authorized. All those are vital components. Now, if you look at what they're doing through the messaging platform, 0 failure rate according to the Ripple website. Swift does have a failure rate. Now, Swift is a messaging platform that's moving data. Does Swift get the SOC 2 compliance when they are actually, they have a level of failure in the processing of the data? Because you do have things that come up and errors can occur. But you want to make sure that there's integrity to the data. Confidentiality. Obviously, we want to keep customer information confidential. You want to restrict it to specific people within an organization. You can't just have everybody within the organization having access to everything. So confidentiality is very important. And as part of that, they mentioned encryption is an important control for protecting confidentiality. So are there proper firewalls and everything that's needed for the encryption of that data? And then finally, you have privacy. Obviously, you want to make sure that that information isn't disclosed anywhere, because think of all the banking customers, just as they say here, social security numbers, names, address, all of the data, how much money, where, all of the data that's being driven through the platform has to be kept private. Now, Ripplenet got the stamp of approval, boom, SOC 2 compliant. So that is very, very vital. Now, one of the things that Chip and I talked about on our live stream as we got into SOC 2, Chip's perspective is that this should have been done ahead of time. My perspective is that you can still attract customers. You can say that your procedures fit within the SOC 2 compliance. However, you have not received the stamp of approval. You do not have it yet, but you're working towards the certification. You just haven't received the certification, but you are adhering to that compliance role. Now, that attracted 40 plus customers to Ripplenet. And so now moving forward, that's just one more stamp that shows customers that Ripple is very serious about what they're offering. Now, let's go over to Amir. Now, Amir Sarhangi, like I said over here, he wrote the insights today. Now, he is the VP of product at Ripple. He was previously at Google, and he was the CEO and founder of Jibe. Now, that's big. The guy obviously has a good background. Now, as he talks about the big milestone today, what is the big milestone? Ripplenet got the SOC 2 seal of approval. So he says here, certifying our services as best in class for privacy and security, particularly exciting for Ripplenet Cloud, which has seen tremendous growth since its launch last year. So they launched it in 2019. They announced it in 2019 at Swell, but then it actually launched June of 2020 and had rapid growth. And it's really, really impressive. So they actually added 40 institutions in a very short period of time that are adopting the Ripplenet Cloud, that are modernizing. As we talked about, it's one of the core principles of what the Ripplenet cloud solution is doing, is moving individual customers from the hardware legacy solution that's hardware and software driven, and moving the payment infrastructure to a more cost-effective, better processing, faster solution, which is up in the cloud. Now, one of the things that Amir had mentioned is that as part of the cloud, with the cloud Ripplenet solution, they can actually deploy customers in 5 weeks. Now imagine, they don't have to set up servers. They don't have to learn and make sure that the servers are secure, that they're connecting all the different computers to that server that is on site. In this scenario, everything is cloud driven, simplifies the whole process. Obviously, still a rollout when you're working with banks and branches and all of that. So 5 weeks, I don't know what the timeline is to roll out a full implementation of servers and hardware, but I got to believe it's probably in the months, measured in months and months. Here it's in 5 weeks. Now, one of the things that they've seen that's been happening is that Ripplenet Cloud transaction volume has doubled every 8 weeks. So right now they're processing 1.8 million transactions in 2020. And I got to believe they have a lot of great things looking forward for 2021. He says here, feeling good about what 2021 has in store for Ripplenet Cloud as it grows, because they are building and they're committed to building a secure solution. And the SOC 2 certification is emphasizing that commitment, according to Amir. And so all this becomes very, very critical, very important, to the overall development that is what Ripple is offering. Now, again, remember that Ripplenet is right now running the messaging solution. Part of the overall game changer of Ripplenet is the liquidity, is the ODL, is the fast settlement where they can settle within 3 seconds. Having organizations not have to worry about liquidity and can rely on on-demand liquidity, the ODL solution, which organizations have been using and starting to use and transact with. We see SBI is utilizing the ODL, and we know that MoneyGram used ODL for their foreign currency exchange. So the game-changing solution is here. They're using it. What does that mean overall? It's exciting for those that are looking at the development and full utility of these types of platforms in this space. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the little bell notifier to make sure you get notified every time we post a new video. Hit that thumbs up. Leave some comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are about today's subject matter and any other subjects that you would like to hear about. It could be XRP, or it could be something about Dogecoin or any other project in the space. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. I'm out.